Mamma mia, am I right, guys? We are finally starting to see footage for the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and oh boy, does it have the internet talking. In the teaser trailer for the Mario Bros. Movie, we finally got to hear what the voices sound like for some of the characters in the Mario Bros. Movie. And to say that some of the performances there blew me away would be an understatement.
It's Jack Black!
It's Jack Black!
Open the gates!
And personally for me, my favorite performance from that teaser trailer had to be Bowser, voiced by Jack Black. And it seems like most people on the internet tend to agree with me on this. That is probably the best part of the teaser trailer. But not only that, but also saying it's probably going to be their favorite part of the movie. Just by seeing Jack Black performing as Bowser. Just seeing Bowser being performed by Jack Black is just so entertaining. But it also has the internet in an uproar talking about Chris Pratt and his performance so far as Mario in the Mario Bros. Movie. So far, it has been a lot of criticism and a lot of people asking questions, more or less. From people questioning why he got the role in the first place, to them also criticizing the way he speaks. And I like to think I have a few answers to those questions in terms of comparing Chris Pratt versus Jack Black's performance and comparing them from each other. And to start, I'll talk about their performance. When it came to Jack Black as Bowser, you could really tell he put a lot of his heart and soul into that character. When you hear him talk as Bowser, you hear power, you hear a king, you hear a ruler, somebody who wants to destroy all. Not only that, but also his line delivery was also really well done, especially with his comedic timing. When I saw for the first time Bowser going up against the penguins, that honestly left me laughing quite a bit because I just thought it was so funny. But not only that, but you can also tell he really cares about the character he's playing. You can really tell by someone's role and how they perform, how much they care about the character and how much they want to make them feel real. On the other hand, you have Chris Pratt, and to be fair, we haven't really heard much of him talking per se, but I will say, so far, I am a bit disappointed. When you hear Chris Pratt speak as Mario, you kind of just hear Chris Pratt more than anything. Not to say he isn't trying his best with the character, it's just more like he could have done a lot more to make Mario sound like Mario. I'm not saying trying to go on full on like Mario or Italian accent per se, but you can also compare it to something else like the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. You can tell that it was still Mario, just with a bit more of a New York twist behind it instead of Italian. And while you do get that hit of Italian in this, it's just not as strong as other performances as Mario in the past. And this leads me to the next topic, being the actor versus the character. And what I mean by this is that a really good voice actor can make a character his own character and feel like it's his own person. When I'm watching a movie, let alone an animated film, I want to feel like I'm listening to a real person whenever I'm watching them. And so far with Jack Black's performance as Bowser, you can tell that Bowser is its own character so far. You feel like you can't really compare them together. You can't compare Jack Black and Bowser because they're two different people. And while it's a lot more simpler than it sounds, it's a lot more something in the mind. Because when you're watching a film, you don't want to think to yourself, oh, that's just Jack Black playing a character. I don't feel anything from this, really. But as so far, I felt like with Bowser, I was listening to the King of the Koopas conquering and destroying more than anything, which is a good thing. Also with Jack Black, you could say this about a lot of the other characters he's played in the past, including animated films especially. As in with Chris Pratt, you really feel like when you hear Chris Pratt's Mario, you just think to yourself, oh, that's just Chris Pratt being Chris Pratt again. And with Chris Pratt, you just kind of feel like you're just listening to Chris Pratt again in a different film, which is kind of one of his biggest weaknesses in my opinion, because Chris Pratt has become so recognized as just Chris Pratt that whenever you see him in a film, you're just like, okay, great, we got Chris Pratt again, just Mario. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is relatability. Jack Black is also just a pretty nice guy in general. He's also just a pretty relatable dude outside of work. Not only does he seem like he's fun to be around, but also he's done some pretty great things in terms of the community that he's around, and also collaborating with not just other actors or just different companies, but also collaborating with different YouTubers even, helping to be connected with younger people especially. You can also really tell from the Nintendo Direct when Jack Black was speaking.
Do you have any idea how long it took me to learn how to breathe fire? I had to go learn it from Gene Simmons of Kiss.
You could really feel that there was so much character, he was so charismatic, and just seemed like he was having so much fun with this, and he was happy to be there, and he put more effort into it than he should have. But that just shows just how much he cares about this film, and everything he puts his heart into. As in for Chris Pratt, He's kind of a weird guy in real life. He's not exactly known for being the most friendly guy out there, which is fine. I mean, not everybody has to be the most friendly person off camera, but he's not exactly one who is truthful, I guess you can say. And what I mean by this especially is in the Nintendo Direct, you felt like he read straight off his script, and he also sounded like he didn't know what he was talking about.
Growing up, man, I spent hours of my life stomping Koopas.
He just kind of sounded robotic. He just sounded like he had to do this because Miyamoto and Nintendo told him he had to do it because of Nintendo Direct. He didn't sound like he wanted to be there. He didn't really sound like he cared about it as much as Jack Black. If he truly cared, he would have at least memorized some of his script instead of clearly looking like he's trying to read off of it. This kind of felt like a big turnoff for me in terms of wanting to support Chris Pratt, because it was already ridiculous enough when they first announced him being Mario. When I first heard that, I wasn't going to take him seriously in the first place, and after seeing him on the Nintendo Direct and him talking to us like we're just a bunch of people that he's just trying to please, then why should I really even care about this in the first place in terms of me actually thinking Chris Pratt can do good? But it's his choice to put forth all that effort to actually make the character feel alive and actually make it seem like he cares about wanting to be there. You can also say there are still tons of arguments you can make about all of this, to where it's not fair to be talking about this right now because we've only gotten one teaser trailer so far, and the film's not going to be coming out for another 6 or so months per se. After we got that whole interview with Chris Pratt saying that Mario's going to sound a whole lot more normal, I definitely was a bit worried about that, and hearing him now, and he definitely sounds more, I guess, normal per se, it does leave me worried that I'm going to have to hear a normal sounding Mario throughout the entire film. But overall, we still have a lot more that we need to see. I'm sure they're still going to drop a few more teaser trailers for us so that way we can hear more of Mario, more of Bowser, and also just hearing more of the other characters we haven't heard yet, really, like Luigi. We haven't really heard much from him, Princess Peach's performance, and especially my favorite, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong.